So I've got for you guys today the Walther PPS M2. I'm just going to be calling it the PPS from now on. I won't really talk about some of the differences between those two. Check out my older videos for that. And then I also have the Shield M&P 2.0. Now this is a very new release from Smith & Wesson. It's only been out for a couple of weeks on the market. So very excited to bring this back on film, probably a little bit sooner than I normally do with guns. But I've had a lot of requests from you guys to compare these two. A lot of you guys know that I've almost solely carried the PPS M2 for, about 10 months now. However, just a little bit of history, I've owned several shields, not only in the 9mm, but also in the 45, and I've carried those over the years as well. In fact, probably about 2.5 years with the shield, so definitely some carry experience with both, and a significant amount of shooting experience as well. So let's go ahead and knock a couple of specs out of the way here real quick. From a length standpoint, the PPS is going to be 6.3 inches versus 6.1 inches on the Shield. The height is 4.4 inches with the flat base magazine on the PPS versus 4.4 inches on the Shield, also the flat base magazine. From a barrel length, I suppose I won't do that quite yet. From a barrel length standpoint, the PPS on your left is 3.18 inches versus 3.1 inches on the Shield. From a width standpoint, the PPS, once again, on your left is going to be 1 inch versus 1.03 inches on the Shield. So almost exactly the same width. Really, you're splitting hairs at this point in time. From a weight standpoint, the PPS is going to be 21.1 ounces versus 20.21 ounces on the Shield, both with empty magazines. So in talking about magazines, the PPS M2, now this is the LE version. I'll go into that a little bit more here in just a moment. The flat base magazine is going to be a 6-round magazine. However, for the LE, you also do get a 7 and an 8-round magazine, and both of these do carry forward the grip and the ergos and all that kind of stuff, which I'll talk about in a moment, with both of these magazines. So it's nice to have some options. If you go with the non-LE version, it does come with the 7-round magazine as well. With the Shield 2.0, you're going to get your 7-round magazine in the gun, and then you're also going to get an 8-round magazine, also with an extension on it as well. So from a capacity standpoint, the Shield does stand out just a little bit at 7 rounds plus 1 versus 6 rounds plus 1, again in both of those flat-base magazines. Let's go ahead and talk about the features of both of these firearms here for just a little while. We're going to focus on the PPS first. Now, one of the most outstanding features of the PPS is going to be the grip and the ergonomics. And what I mean by that is the grip has these little squigglies or little bananas, whatever you want to say, all the way around front, back, and sides. And it also has a couple of finger grooves. So when you're gripping the gun, it really does lock those fingers in. And for a single stack firearm, I think it does a really good job. Now, I will say that the grip is a little bit slick, but it's really not entirely too bad, and I think because of the contour, it makes up for this grip being a little bit more slick. From a magazine release standpoint, it is not ambidextrous, and you cannot change it, or at least in my research on that, it kind of looks like you might be able to, but I've not read anywhere where you're able to actually do that. In fact, it's usually to the contrary of that. From a slide lock, slide release standpoint, it is also not ambidextrous, but the slide lock certainly can be functioned as a release, not a problem at all.